Okay. I think it's working now.
I
Hi.
do.
I am currently a graphic design major, visual communication graphic design.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. So, what are your plans to do with a degree in graphic design? Are you looking to go on? Are you
Yeah,
looking to?
hopefully, like the plan was, if the world wasn't ending, I would have gotten a job at this point or a paid internship. But Corona really came and messed all that up, which is really unfortunate. But
Hmm.
at this point, the goal went from getting a job to sticking it through the semester as of like last spring. So at this point, I'm just surviving. So that's what we're doing. Taking fall semester classes so far. It's been okay, but it's only the first weekend. But like, I don't know, as far as school and everything, all that is like really just self-explanatory, and it's real easy to deal with all that because you just do the work and do your best. But managing like the weight of the world and the current political landscape and everything going on, that's what's really been like bothering me.
That's the stuff that keeps you up at night.
Yeah. Um, I guess the reason like I'm here is because I did have an episode. Should we call it last night or early this morning? It was about. I mean, I count my nights by when I sleep, so it was technically 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, but I didn't go to sleep until like 6, 7. So I'll just call it early this morning. Um, I had. Well, I was on the phone with my significant other. I mean, does it count as significant other? She's just been a girlfriend for a month. I, it's a real liberal term, but my girlfriend of 1 month, my best friend for a year. Um, we were on the phone. We decided to watch a movie about um, Hitler, right? So I already my views toward not only race relations but um, just all that have been very extreme. Like I'm the type of person, I don't tolerate racism. I've been known to throw around the H word whenever I am in discussions about that topic, but like then I'm equated to their level. Like, oh, you hate racists, you're no better than people than the racists that hate black people. That's like, but wouldn't it technically be a justified hatred if uh, you're I don't know, you're seen as the enemy. So in order to not just let them roll over you, you have to equate that same energy because their whole belief is that you are below them and that you don't deserve the right to live. Therefore, hating that fact should be justifiable. But here we are last night, me and my lady friend, we had a very intense discussion about Hitler, right?
Okay.
Because the movie was played off like a comedy. Basically, the movie is this guy wanted to make a movie about what would happen if Hitler was in Germany today. The movie took place in 2014, but basically Hitler was alive and well in 2014, like in his prime. They don't explain all that part yet, but it's just Hitler. And he goes around and basically reestablishes the Third Reich very slowly, but he starts with the media and all that. And I'm like, I'm sitting here and waiting for somebody to punch Hitler in his dumb little face and do away with him once and for all. Where here we are, my friends on the other hand, laughing at all these scenes. And I'm like, yo, how can you sit here and not only tolerate this, but not wish that Hitler would just get run over by a car and the movie be done? Everything Hitler stands for is what I strictly go against. Right? His
So your
his
friend was seeing the satire,
yes.
and you were not.
I you could say that, right? I understood the satire, but given everything that I have seen this week, we have Kyle Rittenhouse, a child, being treated as a hero for killing two people at a protest. We have was Jacob Blake getting paralyzed. We have you can't okay. First of all, you can't justify those 7 bullets and an unarmed man. So I was taking in the weight of the whole world this whole week. So yes, maybe I was a little on edge, and I wasn't in the mood to see basically a Nazi get justified in a movie. So you
I
can
hear that.
understand,
I can honor that.
right? So in the post movie discussion, which turned heated very quickly,
Uh,
I was I don't know. I all I said was like, whoever this movie was made for, I hope they enjoyed it. But then she went on to like justify but not justify, understand but not understand. But like, there's no gray area about it. Hitler was a bad person. You can't you can't genocide an entire race and then have somebody what 1945, so like 60, 70 years later, sit here and justify your actions because yeah, man, Hitler hated the Jews, but his entire goal was about reestablishing the workforce and caring about the German people. Yeah, but he killed not only Jewish citizens, but anybody who didn't fit his very strict Aryan race. So how can you sit
Yes.
here? So
That
how can you
that
sit
sometimes
here?
gets lost. That it wasn't about just the Jews. It was about anybody who wasn't like him. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where
That
our
has
disconnect
context for
was.
today. I hear you.
Yeah, it
That
does.
has
And
context for today. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so she was like, I can understand how the German people would go along with it because he was very charismatic, and if you go and read his book, I'm not reading his book by the way, but if you understand the one point that the movie made is that the German people voted for him. Yeah, the German people voted for them because they were no better than him. They believed everything he was saying. That's why when I direct my hatred or lack thereof empathy for the people that go against people that look like me and you, my girlfriend is also a person of color. She's Trinidadian. But um, when I choose that group of people to go against, it's because they want nothing but to see the death of people that look like me and you. They want the cops to use us as target practice. How do you not understand that? I don't know how else I could explain that to her. And it turned I turned very intense very quickly because I may be a little extreme. She's more empathetic than me. I'm not so empathetic. I don't know if that was due to my upbringing or just the fact that I had a zero tolerance policy for that because I had to take in all of the news. First of all, you can judge this country by our leader. A, we have Donald Trump as the president, right? And I know people can sit here and attempt to justify him, but his whole political platform in 2016 was targeting the Latino citizens, the immigrants, and all of that. So I didn't tolerate that at all in 2016. I was too young to vote, and that's the entire problem. I was 16, but I was like, I knew that he was not the right choice. And look what happened. Now we have the coronavirus, we
So
have the
that tells
ICU
me that
camps.
your activism is has been activated and that you will be a participant in the voting process
Of
this
course,
year.
but my whole thing is, I don't think the black vote matters, right? Yeah, black lives can matter, but the black votes get thrown straight into the trash. And I think the entire thing is rigged. I don't think it matters, but I will do my part to take part in this little circus because it will make me feel better. But
Okay.
at the same
Okay.
time, if it mattered, we wouldn't have who we had now. I think a lot of people want to blame the fact that black people didn't vote. Every one of the black people, elders in my family, went out and voted. Their friends voted. We had Russia rigging the elections. It didn't matter what we did on our side. Russia was always going to put that man in the office.
Hmm.
And now we have the lesser two evil because,
There-
yeah, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are morons. We need to get that dude out now.
I see. So you're looking at it as the lesser of two evils
Yes,
in,
pretty
in
much
terms
lesser
of
two
what's up
evils.
for political grabs.
Yeah. And I forgot my initial point.
Well,
I
you
was
were
talking about
talking,
last night.
yes, you were talking about
Yeah,
last night and how it got heated very quickly. And so after, in terms of that escalation, what happened with that? How did you
all right. So
escalate or?
the climax of it all was when I guess during whenever she was making points, I was making remarks, but that was just due to the fact that I was literally shaking in my seat. Well, it wasn't my seat; I was laying down. I like my bed, but I was literally shaking in my bed. I didn't realize until after she had hung up the phone on me. I'm gonna get to that part, but um, uh, yeah. So she was saying a point,
Oh,
and then I
okay.
jumped in.
Someone else joined us.
I jumped in and said, like, everything you're
Hello,
saying is
Brian.
with the. Oh, we have a new person. Hello, new person. Um, she was basically explaining the movie to me, and I was like, yeah. All this movie did was state the obvious. Because of course, if Hitler came back today, there'd be people that would rally with him. Of course, there'd be people that would want to reestablish the Third Reich. Because all you got to do is play on people's ignorances and their fears. Because that's all racism is. It's the fear, right? So after I
Mm.
said that, she got quiet. I got quiet, and I was like, I don't know how else to explain that to you. And she was like, I'm literally getting irritated. And I was like, yeah, that makes two of us. And then she was like, you know what, N word, STFU, I'm gone. Whenever you want to talk about it, realistically, whatever you're going through, figure that out and then come contact me. And then she hung up. And that's when I realized I was holding the phone. I was literally shaking.
Wow.
So
Wow, that was
I sent
a discussion
another.
that took in race and conflict and values. What was the movie called?
Look who's back.
Look Who's Back. Okay. And who chose
No,
it?
that's a funny story. So she chose the movie because she had heard that it was funny. So she was going into it like a comedy after I had already suggested a dumber comedy because I was already on edge, like I said, from what was it, Thursday night. So the entire week hearing about the Kyle Rittenhouse, Kenosha shootings, and all that stuff. So I wanted to relax with a dumb comedy movie, right? So I was
Okay.
like, okay, let's watch this one called Bob the Butler. So she literally Googled it. I was like, oh, I hate this actor. I'm going to hate this movie. Let's go. And I was like, well, no, we're going to hate this movie. Let's choose something. It's like, no, we're watching this. I was like, okay. So now you're being stubborn, which is fine because I can be stubborn sometimes when it comes to movies. It's like, okay, match my energy. I will match yours. I will sit here and let you just dump on this movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But like halfway through the movie, we didn't get through half of it. She was like, I think I've seen this. And I was like, okay. I was already a little upset at that point. I didn't care. I was like, okay, just choose something from your list and we'll watch that. And she's like, are
And
you
that's
sure?
how
You
it
seem
came
upset.
about.
Yeah, I'm upset, but I'm not going to let, that part get to me. But then she chose the Look Who's Back movie, and then that spiraled out of control. And now we have gone 14 hours without contact. So,
Oh, so you had such an argument about this movie, and just to kind of bring Imani in since she joined us, this you were watching this movie with your girlfriend called Look Who's Back, and it's a dark comedy about Hitler,
yeah,
and it was very upsetting to you. And you and your girlfriend had an argument about it to where now you haven't spoken in almost a day.
pretty much.
And it doesn't sound like you've slept either.
Um, I went to sleep at about. I first attempted sleep at like 3:30, and then after about like 45 minutes of tossing and turning, I was like, you know what, we should try music. So I turned on one artist that I do enjoy because his stance on the alt right movement, like he's against alt right by any means necessary. By the name of JPEG Mafia. So I turned on a lot of his earlier work in an attempt to just surround myself with those thoughts. But
Uh,
his earlier work is actually a lot calmer than his newer material. So that was a very not jarring experience, but it was needed. So I had calmed down a little bit, and I just kept listening to music until I couldn't press any more buttons, and I went to sleep at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So yeah,
so you at least discovered that when you are filled with anger and conflict, that you can turn to music. That's one way to try to manage that.
yeah.
Monty, do you have any suggestions in terms of what you do to try to calm down when you're full of anger or rage like that?
Well, I would just, well, normally for me, like if I'm angry, I would just like probably just stay away from everybody else because I don't want like, I don't, because like with me now, like if I'm angry, I try, like I take my anger out on people. So what I do, I try to like stay by myself in a room by myself where I can just be calm and just relax and just think about the situation.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
So it sounds like that was probably very helpful for you, Charles, that you weren't around other people at that time. Kind of piggybacking off of what Imani is saying.
I mean, yeah, because that's usually what I do as well. But
Ah,
my
okay.
room is far into the house. Like I'm on the outer wall. I don't really interact with a lot of the family unless I'm like eating or passing in the hallway. So I'm usually just in here a lot. Um, and when I'm not just like sitting in my bed, I'm usually talking on the phone with the girlfriend. And maybe I've become dependent on her. And
Ah,
that's what I've really been thinking about when I woke up, because I woke up kind of depressed and everything. So I was like, is this another episode of me, um, I don't know, I guess being dependent and losing the one thing I was depending on, or is this just me taking in everything that happened last night and this past week? So that's what I'm trying to figure out today. I'm sure it's a mix of both, but I don't know, like
well,
everyone's
have
saying that,
you, when you've argued before, have you the same response?
um,
Or is
yes
this
and
your
no. Like
first argument?
this is not our first like argument, but it's our
Okay.
most heated. Like the last one we had that was, I don't know, kind of small. It didn't really result in this. It was kind of more so just the same point of texting when you're ready to talk, but it was more immediate. Like this is the first time we've gone this long after a discussion without talking. So this is new. This is new territory. Not a fan, but people need time, and I can understand that.
So is your feeling response new as well? This
No, not really.
feeling of
I get
depression?
no, not really. I get depressed a lot. I mean, not a lot, but it's normal. Like I think it's a normal sadness. Like it's nothing crazy, but this is
Yeah.
just the current situation. So
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. I think it sounds like a normal response to a conflictual interaction, particularly if it's someone that you care about, and then not having the benefit of communicating. As you said, it's been 14 hours or so. Yeah, that can even feed that sense of insecurity.
yeah,
So the arguments and isolating and this thing of the whole thing that started it in terms of race relations, and then you even brought in the the layer of COVID. There's a lot going on, Charles and Iman, in terms of what you both have to deal with. So if you are having some conflict like this, and it sounds like, Charles, honestly, justifiably so, that your values would come up against what it did in watching this movie. Totally understand that. Um, you might even want to, look at the idea of, are your values compatible? If that is something that may be coming up for you within the relationship. The whole idea of tendency, like you said, I think it's just a normal reaction to having an argument and then not being able to talk about it in a rational, logical way. When you're heated, you're not talking about things when you're heated.
yeah, that makes sense.
So, what I'm hearing you say, Charles, is that you value the way in which minority lives are depicted, represented, and respected. in terms of
Yes.
people of color, whether that's on the screen, whether that's in real life.
Yeah. 'Cause I just get like, I guess I do get kind of tired of seeing people that look like me treated as either a joke or a punchline or any other marginalized group because they're out there, but we're used as the butt of a joke at our expense. That's what drives me the wrong way. But yeah, you see people that should not deserve respect get treated with high esteem, where they get praised. That's what rubs me wrong. That's what rubs me the wrong way, and that's why I get angry.
Would the same be true for you, Imani, in terms of holding those ideals in high regard?
Could you? What I didn't. I wasn't listening. What you was saying. Could you
Oh, that's
repeat it?
okay. That's okay. I was just trying to include you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Okay, that's fine.
I just wanted to make sure that everyone on was included. So, just talking about in terms of some values that you hold in high regard. And Charles was talking about some of the values that he holds would be respecting how people of color are depicted in media, how they're treated in society, and how they're valued as a people.
Like
We
how?
were just go on.
No, no. I was like saying. Never mind. I can't. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, all right. So you want to just keep listening? Just go right ahead. Jump
Okay.
in when you want. Okay.
Okay. I
Okay.
will.
All righty. Very good. Very good.
Hmm.
So, Charles, then, how are you expressing those values?
That's a very good question. It's a very hard one to answer because I look all over my social media and I see everyone and their grandmother now is an activist and other, but I feel like most people doing it are only doing it to fit in with the trend or they're doing it for clout. And that's what I mean. Yeah, I guess every little bit counts, and everything. But I, I don't know. It just never felt right with me, just posting like how I feel like toward everything just out there because it's a trend now, and I don't want to be seen as doing this for the trend.
Okay.
Plus, it's like I don't know. I feel like nothing matters. Like we pass around these petitions to defund the police and to get justice for the victims of police brutality, and nothing is getting done. So it's really hard to find ways to really express yourself. I've tried like making music, but every time I sit with the pen and pad, because I've been making music, quotation marks music, since 2017, and I've never really jumped
Oh,
into a lot of my extremist political values because it's really hard to say that we should take the Klan and stomp their heads in and make them swallow their own teeth because you can't just say things like that. Or you could, but you could post it underground. Or you could post it underground, and what if somebody finds it? Now it's mainstream. Or what if the right person finds it and it does the wrong response, or vice versa? So it's really hard to find ways to do that. Plus, I don't know. I just feel like I said, half the people that are doing it constant are only doing it so that way they don't get treated as racist or the other side. Like I don't need to be an internet activist when I'm doing um, like enough. I'm doing these petitions. I can't make posts every day about it because then it gets watered down. Because if you see the same Black Lives Matter post on 10 different profiles the same day, then it diminishes. I guess yeah, you could give the strength in numbers argument, but I think it diminishes the value.
I see.
Because June, July, that was, I guess, the peak of the trend. And now everybody, like I said, everybody and their grandmother was posting something about it. We had people putting BLM in their bios, but what are you really doing? I can't go to protests because, due to COVID, I'm very strict about my outside contact. So it's very unfortunate that can be a part of the protest. But at the same time, people at these protests are getting gunned down, we're getting attacked, they're getting tear gassed. So there's really no language loud enough to make the side that needs to listen.
I see.
And
So,
I feel like anybody that would have joined our cause is here already. So I'm thankful for the allies that are here, of every race and denomination.
yes.
And I just think that, like I said, if anybody else agreed with our cause, they'd be here already. So therefore, if you're not with us, you are against us. And that's pretty much the only realistic way to look at it. Like, yeah, there's people can play devil's advocate, but you can't play devil's advocate with people's rights, especially our right to live. Because we don't want superiority. We don't want to be better than you. We want to exist. And if one side is saying stop killing us, the other side is saying why, there's clearly a disconnect there. Clearly, one side should be looked at as a problem.
Okay. Okay. And so it a couple of things. Oh, Imani, come on in.
Oh yeah, I was saying like I know like there was like a whole lot of racist persons, but like really and truly when when I've seen the only like the time when I've seen most of their true colors is like on media, and like when persons like would video them, that's like when I saw their true colors and saw how much persons were racist towards black people, and it like really made me sad because I don't know why people would like just dislike you because of your skin color. Probably because of what they're taught, of what society tells them, and all of that. And it truly makes me sad that we're being hated for no apparent reason and treated like slaves. I just don't understand why. Like, I don't know.
Hear you. I hear you. You have the
Yeah.
same sentiment as Charles in terms of the fundamental question: if we're all created in depending on who your faith is, I'm just going to use God. If we're all created in God's image, then how is
Hmm.
it that one is better than the other?
Exactly. Hmm.
So, and as Charles was saying, we just want equality. We don't want
Yeah.
superiority.
Hmm.
And as you're talking, Imani, you're talking in terms of representing all people of color. You
Yeah.
know, it's not a in some circles they try to differentiate the blackness. So
Yeah.
you're black or you're African American or biracial. So you know, it just really depends, and
Yeah.
it's really a matter of people of color.
Yeah.
You can be Asian, Indian, and you're a person of color
Yeah.
and still treated the same way. You know, in India, they had the untouchables for a long time, and those were the darker skinned individuals.
Yeah, like the like I would say like the lighter Indians, they don't like the black Indians for some reason. I don't know.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. And the caste system even um, exacerbates that. The caste system makes it even more pronounced within their
Yeah.
society.
Mhm.
I will say here, I just read an article that talked about the United States also has
Also as a what?
a caste system similar to India.
Oh, they wow. Mm.
Yes, the article that I read from a scholar who wrote a book, uh, and she was the author was saying that you know people of color have been put into a caste system with the European Americans or the European model rather at the top, and then at the
Wow.
bottom, the indigenous dark people at the bottom.
Wow.
So whereas it may not be as labeled as it is in India. We may have some of those same types of limitations
Yes.
for people of color here in the United States. So it's really a matter of, well, you tell me, um, how to be an activist in this time, or how to not so much be an activist. That's not what I mean, but how to express one sense of solidarity with the movement, whatever movement that might be, the movement of equality, the movement of Black Lives Matter, the movement of putting end to police brutality. There are all sorts of different things that are going on right now. So, how do you go about trying to express that in a way that feels meaningful to you? Because, as you said, Charles, you don't want to be trendy.
I don't
Trendy is
know how to
not the
do it.
goal.
I don't know.
So, it's a sense of what feels authentic. And I'm all with you. I spoke with my husband this morning about going down to the march.
Yeah, that's
He was
another thing.
one.
They got the march today, so now I'm like,
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
terrified. I am terrified.
He was wanting to go, and I found myself trying to talk him out of it. Like, oh wait, hold up. Maybe we can look at how to be active in a different way, where it may not endanger you, it may not endanger us when you come back. All of that. Today's societal activism. So I liked your idea, Charles, about writing music. It doesn't necessarily have to be specifically to um, be written as a broadcast to others. It could just be a testament of how you're feeling at the time.
Yeah, I could try that.
Some other things that come to mind, honestly, well, let me back up. Honestly, it is hard to do the things you want to do with these type of limitations. And I think if we're genuine about it, I think we do the same thing that we're feeling called or led to do. Now, this may seem counterproductive to what we just talked about with you, Charles, particularly having that discussion with your significant other was an act of activism. I hope you see that.
I do. I mean, part of me thinks that maybe I wasn't going about it the right way, because maybe her empathy is the right approach to it, and I'm too radical to really align with the cause.
You're questioning whether or not you can be empathic to the other side and what it
Yeah,
represents.
pretty much.
Might it also be that you're understanding the strength of your value system and how that might lead you into different areas, into different relationships, into different ways of thinking.
Let me say that again.
Now is a time when you're really starting to solidify the values that you believe, not the values of your parents.
Yeah.
And so some of this conflict may be about growth, growing into what you actually want to believe and stand on. So if you call that being too radical, so be it. Okay. Again, it could be solidifying your beliefs. And I can't say whether that's good or bad. Only you know that for yourself.
Yeah.
But everybody has a line in the sand.
Yeah.
Don't come to that line in the sand by accident. You come to it with intention, knowing that I can't cross that line. I will not cross that line.
Yeah.
Wow, Imani, you hear that?
Yeah.
How does that speak to you?
Line.
Hmm? Not crossing a line.
Could you repeat like the
Having,
old? Oh.
yes, having boundaries where there are certain things that you will not stand for.
Yes, I do have boundaries to a lot of things, like in order like just to protect myself and just to like actually keep negative energy out, especially like I would say especially like with persons around me. I would say like I don't talk to like I don't talk to persons that like with me. I'm a very positive person, and I would say that I don't like when persons around me speak negatively because it kind of just like drains my energy, drains me down. So like I kind of bring like people, like positive persons in my circle, because like when they speak negatively about certain things and certain topics, like I just can't deal with that type of energy around me.
Okay.
Especially for, I would say especially like for um like I would say like around like, what would I say? I can't explain it, but I'm talking like having boundaries like with like if like persons would have boundaries. Like I don't know how to explain it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I
If I could,
appreciate you trying to articulate it. That's all right. That's
Thank
if
you.
I
okay.
can, if I can jump in a little bit
Oh,
here.
go. All right. Well, go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead, Charles. Jump in.
I completely understand what Imani is saying about keeping
Okay, great.
positive energy and keeping people like that around you. Because I was the same way for, I guess, a long time until I realized, like, once something, not traumatic, but something big in my life happened, I realized that you can't just be all positive. But this is what worked for me. I was like, there needs to be a balance, right? You need
Okay.
to keep enough positive energy to keep you going, but you can't get rid of the negativity. You got to focus that into something positive. So I was like,
Okay.
okay, if I'm gonna have negative energy, I'm gonna put that into something and then put that into a good cause. But I guess I chose to put all that negative energy, all that rage and that depression into me um, having my extremist views against racists. So I guess like my only question, not really question, is because because my girlfriend's the same way about like not really being strict about her positive energy, but she's the same way. Like as an empathetic person, she's always focusing on um, trying to be positive. And I guess for last night, really like pointed out is that we just clashed because, like I said, I have a focused negative energy, but she's like strictly trying to keep it positive. So how do you think I should go about when she does reach out to me? How do you think I should go about communicating with her to really bring us back to like I don't know, bring us back to calm, I guess, because
That's a good
yeah,
question. Yeah. Imani, you have any suggestions?
About dealing with boundaries.
About when he gets back to talking with his significant other, that he can be peaceful around this situation. Is that what you meant, Charles?
yeah, pretty much. Because like I said, like she's more focused on positive energy and keeping all like the good vibes and everything, but I'm focused on and not only that, but focusing on my negative energy because it's gonna be there regardless, and I'm not gonna ignore it. But if we can find a way to just reach a happy medium. How should I go about communicating that that's what I want, and how to get to that point?
Oh, I believe you guys should you guys could like have like sit down and kind of like talk it out, like like let her know what you're having a problem with and stuff like that, and like let her try to hear you out about what you're saying. Like try to talk to her like from your understanding of it, and like I don't if she still has a problem with it. I don't know. I don't know.
I like your idea. I like your idea about sitting down and having the conversation, not
Yeah.
sweeping it under the rug,
Yeah.
right? Not
But
ignoring it as if it didn't happen.
but she
Um,
his significant other would have to be like is she the type of person to communicate? Because I know like many persons don't like, even though you're in a relationship with that person, they don't want to like communicate with you. If you get what I'm saying.
She's all about communication,
Okay,
and
that's
the only
good.
times where she's not really like in that point is where, well, she's the only time she's not really into uh, just communications when she needs time to think or time to like recharge or something really big happens, like last night, for example. Because, like I said, as soon as an hour went by of silence, that's when I sent my text at like 3 a.m. Just explaining to her in a few words that I know that we're going to disagree on this, but I still do care about her. And when she's ready to talk, I'm here. And,
excellent.
she hasn't responded since. So,
Yeah, that's true. You should give her some time. Like just give her some time to like think, and give her some time like to just to think about the situation or think about whatever is on her mind first before because sometimes there's so many things going on in her mind. Probably she don't probably she I don't know if she tell you about things like what she's thinking about and all of that, but just give her some time, and then like you guys can definitely sit and talk about it, and you can say, hear me out, so and so and so, there's things that we need to work on and all of that, and we need to talk about like the like what you said about the about you being about her being positive all the time and all of that. You can just like talk it out and just work it out, and hopefully you guys go on like peacefully.
Yes,
yeah.
that's great. That's wonderful. Yes, yes. I would add a couple of things to that, and that is deciding whether or not you think an apology is in order, and if so, then apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also like what Imani said in terms of seeing if she can understand your point of view, especially within the context of today's climate. Because I think some of that for you, Charles, some of that those environmental stresses are impacting how you're thinking and feeling about who you are in this world today. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like you said, it's not going to change. If it does change, it's going to be very incremental. And that's how change happens within our country, mentally. It gets there, but it may not be in your lifetime. How about if I say it may not be in my lifetime?
Yeah.
And I give it to
Like the idea is there, but it's just taking long to like get into place.
Indeed. Indeed. But
Yeah.
I think we're planting some good seeds.
Yes, I do. I do believe that.
And Charles, I think the way that you're thinking and feeling, I think those are seeds that are being planted.
Yeah.
I don't see them as a character, a deficit in character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, cool. All right. The last thing I'll say is to this idea of fighting fairly. You know, fighting fairly means that you don't bring in old issues that have nothing to do with what you're talking about now. It also means that if things get heated, then maybe you agree to take a time out. And I think Imani had said that in terms of giving her some time. So maybe this is the timeout period. It also means trying to own what is yours and not you always and you never, as opposed to owning that for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And I've got a handout. If you'd like a handout on rules for fair fighting, I'm more than happy to send it to you. If you want to put your email in the chat, I'll make sure that you get it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And certainly, Imani, if you're interested in receiving that handout, I can send it to you too.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
All right. Well, it looks like we are coming to just about the end of our time. So I appreciated the discussion. Is there anything else before we end this segment? Anything else to be said?
I don't think I had anything else. You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're here every Friday, 11 o'clock and 3:30. Usually, I have my partner with me, Mr. DeVal Kent. I would have loved to have gotten his take on this for you, because he's quite the well versed man in a lot of areas. I hope that. So anyway, he's a good guy.
I'll try and be here next Friday for that.
All right, good enough. Good, and hey, if not, not a problem. But yeah, we are, and we have different series as well. Thank you, Imani. I got it. All right, very good. So I'll send both of you the handout for rules for fair fighting. So thank you both. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Yes, thank you so
Okay.
much. You too.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Let's get the emails and then I will shut it down. Alrighty, all done. Boom, boom, boom.